Pleasure to meet all at last, and welcome back to the Vlog-A-Thon 4.0. Yeah. So right here, number 49 of 58. So less than 10 vlogs away from finishing up this whole entire thing. And even though I've got so many ideas that I've already gotten occupied by now, I gotta say, I might be hitting a few roadblocks at this point, because here, I'm getting close. But I feel like that I have yet to talk about a few things that, well, just seem on the mind right now, just to take up some space. So, might as well bring in the bag here again, because even though I've already talked a lot about it in full, well, this is one thing right here that I feel like I haven't already pointed out here. Yeah. A large bag of chocolate-covered peanuts. Wow. And I know what you're probably thinking. Why on earth am I holding up an empty bag of chocolate peanuts? Well, I'm going to throw this one out. Or in this case, put it back in the bag here, because I don't want to create any litter. And bring this out. Yep, these are in fact the chocolate peanuts that came all the way from Fleet Farm, and this is now where they're at. Right here in this bowl. And quite honestly, I don't really know about you, but the way I see things right now, it's getting pretty branched out. And I feel like I could go a little bit further, probably take it up the extra mile. So right here, this vlog is just simply put about chocolate-covered peanuts. And for the record, I probably won't go in every single one of them in the bowl, but maybe just take one or two of them for this whole thing, because after all, that did just give me a new idea to pretty much talk about. I feel like I have to talk a little bit about how my dieting has been working out, because even though I've showed it off before, I feel like I must do so again. Of course, you're already familiar with the fact that, well, this is pretty much what I'm wearing. Now, of course, yeah, probably unnecessary there. Then, of course, yeah. So that pretty much just goes to show that progress is a lengthy experience for me. But looking at where I'm going right now, the path that I've gone down, I gotta say, there's been so many turns that I've had to take, sacrifices I've had to make, and so much more that I feel like I just have to talk about at this point. With chocolate-covered peanuts here in the line, let me just explain one big thing in 100% honesty. My dieting has not been the kind that I was hoping that it was. There's been so many complications that have arisen, and a lot of different barriers that I pretty much had to bust through at full speed. Both my fists already feel like they are starting to crumble, and that's because of how much I've had to fight through every single horde of temptation, craving, and extreme lust. It's all gotten down to this point where I feel like that a lot of depression, anxiety, exhaustion, embarrassment, hostility, they've all come down to pretty much pummel me to death. But these things in life are things that, unlike the pandemic that we have here, unlike the many things that we're trying to settle with in terms of fighting against injustice and brutality, and not to mention the many other things that are an underlying case as to how this whole entire year was seen to be one of the worst things in history. Well, you know what? I might as well say it over and over again. There have been quite a few years throughout my whole life that I've experienced that were just dreadful to see, hear, and probably even talk about. The year of 2001, for example. What made that such a terrible year to be a part of? Well, mainly the 9/11-2001 terrorist attacks from the Middle East. And we also can't forget that Zoolander, while it may be a pretty big cult hit by today's standards, back then it was one of the worst things that ever could have been brought to life on the big screen. And another year I feel like I should disclose would be the 2008 economic crisis. The economic downfall of 2008, of course, was one of the worst things that America could have ever suffered from. I cannot stress this enough. Because after all, even though we're getting much, much closer to this theoretical event of July 4, 2026, when supposedly America is going to go through a complete and total downfall. And I know I'm getting a bit off track here because this vlog was mainly about the chocolate-covered peanuts that have been sitting in the bowl, but you know what? Talking about my feelings, my emotions, and the like, I have not had another one of these from the bowl, and I wasn't shoveling them all into my mouth. But you know what? I'll just take one more to really take in the grief, the sorrow, the pain, the violence that we've all had to go through as Americans. But no more. From now on, I'm devoting my power to ensuring that I keep on the line of both my health, my safety, and everybody else that I know and care about so much in my life. I can never possibly joke about something as terrible as the things that we might be going through right now, but just a reminder that the years of 2001, 2008, 2013 to 2016, and even 2017, those were some of the worst years of my life that I've ever gone through. To reiterate, 2001 was probably worst at the time for the 9/11 attacks and also for Zoolander. 2008, of course, was the year that the economic crisis started to come through and the economy was falling down. 2013 to 2016, of course, were pretty bad for me, for the most part, because of foreign accent syndrome. Of course, you remember when I used to talk like I came all the way from Surrey, England. No joke. And then, of course, there's 2017, which, of course, has been another one of the worst years ever in history that I've ever come to know about. It was the year that I had so many bits and pieces of knowledge packed into my own mindset about the extreme levels of crime that happened throughout the whole entire year. Yeah, that's how horrible 2017 turned out to be. And also, it was one of those years that we've had in recent times where rap music apparently started to resurface. But you know what? It sucked back then, and it sucks forever. Same with metal, hip-hop, country, and all the BS surrounding it. Never in my life am I ever going to associate myself with it, and never will I ever talk about it again. Because they're just so horrible, and I ain't even kidding around here. I'm dead serious. Why do I even bother with the close-ups anymore? I feel like that I'm just milking it dry. And that's exactly what I feel with it. I also feel like that a lot of YouTubers out there deserve to have their channels removed from the internet forever. Lord Conical, Review Tech USA, Review Tech USA, I Ain't a Hypocrite, Deji Olatunji's Comedy Shorts Gamer, and so much more. I only wish that I had the power to completely shut down their channels for good. Because I already have more than enough evidence in the back of my mind to pretty much put them out of commission. Not just from their channels, but also from their lives. Once again, though, I have not shoveled any of these into my mouth like I normally would. And that right there is just what you need to know. Every time I talk about my point of view on things, my honesty behind everything in life by today's standards, that's the one and only distraction that I seem to find comforting in explaining. just to turn my attention away from food in general. But you know what? There's a lot of things here that I might as well get used to by today's lifestyles and standards that we're going to have to abide by at all times. So you know what? I feel like that I have gone on here long enough to talk about chocolate peanuts and everything else in life that I've already discussed. But if you want to see more go down on my channel, make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, follow me on social media, and stay on the Hollywood side.